Cereal time, cereal time, cereal time, whoa.
What's up, cereal heads? Today we're going to talk about Almond Delight cereal. Now this cereal was released by Ralston back in 1985, and I consider it an underrated classic. Now let me just tell you right up front that I don't have an unopened box of this stuff, so if you were hoping to see what this cereal looks like, well, you're going to be disappointed. But there's still a lot of fun stuff to discuss about this cereal, and a lot of classic nostalgic commercials for me to show you. But first, let's take a quick look at the box. You can see from this new banner up here, this is one of the first boxes of Almond Delight to hit shelves back in 1985. You can see up top there, it tells you there are real delicious almonds in every bite, and then it shows you what the cereal looks like there. There are crispy wheat and rice flakes there, and that plastic spoon, which is a little weird having a clear plastic spoon. They usually have metal spoons or bowls on these boxes. So the flakes for this cereal were made up of wheat and rice, as it said there. They were a little crispier than Wheaties flakes, but not quite as crispy as Special K, somewhere in the middle. And you can see on the bottom it says this cereal was lightly sweetened with brown sugar. Now here's one of the first commercials for this cereal back in 1985.
What's this?
Yeah, what's this?
Your cereal, boys.
Almond Delight? Great.
Yeah, great.
Your dad loves it. Crunchy flakes, brown sugar, and real almond slices.
Pass, Mom.
Yeah, pass.
Well, you don't have to try it.
All right.
You could go clean your room.
The almonds will excite you and the taste will delight you. New Almond Delight brand cereal.
Well, boys? Boys.
This is great.
Yeah, but don't tell Mom.
You can see at the end of that video, they even have this same box there with that new banner on top. Let's take a real quick look at the back of the box. You can see it has a nice photo of the cereal and a glass bowl there. So maybe that spoon on the front is a matching glass spoon. I mean, that would be even weirder than a plastic spoon though. Anyway, you got your wheat and almonds there in the background. And then over here on the side of the box, they have a recipe for an almond fruited cheese ball, which is something I guess people made for a sort of party dip. The 80s were wild, man. They had a few other commercials for this cereal as well. Here's one with the catchy jingle taken from that Tossin' and Turnin' song by Bobby Lewis.
Almond Delight cereal tastes so good, people can't wait till morning.
I couldn't sleep at all last night. Thinking about Almond Delight. All those crunchy almonds in each bite. That paste package tossing and turning. Almond Delight has got me yearning. Gotta get some Almond Delight. Gotta get some Almond Delight.
Almond Delight tonight. It tastes too good to wait till morning.
Hey, I'm all for eating late night cereal. Though if I am eating cereal at night, it's usually like a dessert or sugary cereal, not flakes and almonds. But the best and most memorable campaign they did for this cereal came in 1987. I vividly remember this commercial and the giveaway involved. Here, take a look and then we'll talk a little bit more about it.
Want cash free here in any specially marked box of Almond Delight brand cereal, because every box has free cash, US or foreign, up to $500.
$500 in Almond Delight?
So yeah, I don't know the correlation between money and Almond Delight cereal, but kudos to whoever dreamed up this promotion because it stuck with me all these years later. Here's what this free cash box of Almond Delight cereal looked like. You can see it says up to $500 in every box, either foreign or US currency. And then on the back of the box, they explain the promotion a little more. So in every box, you'd find one of 22 different bills. There are 4 US bills, a $1, $5, $50, and $500 bill. Those $500 bills that feature President McKinley were last printed in 1934, but they're still accepted as legal tender today. And then there were 18 other foreign currencies you could find in the box from these 6 countries down here. Many of these foreign bills were actually not in circulation at the time, so they were mainly for collector purposes. On the side of the box, it noted that the exchange rate for most of them was less than a penny. Supposedly there were 50 of those $500 bills included in these boxes. I wonder who won those bills back in the 80s. That was probably a very fun and exciting breakfast for those 50 people who came across those $500 bills. Now there's another box of this original Almond Delight that I wanted to show you too. This one wasn't as cool as free cash, but it was nostalgic for me in a different way. This box here is from collector Jason Liebig, who has an amazing cereal box and candy wrapper and snack cake wrapper collection. And speaking of snack cakes, this box here, as you can see, had a coupon for Hostess snack cakes that you could cut out right there on the front of the box. But it's the back of this box that really pulls at my nostalgic heartstrings. You can see this plate of Hostess snacks here features Twinkies, cupcakes, and one of my favorite discontinued Hostess snacks, Choco Bliss. You might not remember this particular Hostess snack cake because it wasn't around for too long, but it was oh so good. So I used to get Choco Bliss in those little 2-packs they came in. They were kind of like Suzy Q's with that chocolate devil's food cake, but instead of that white cream in the middle, they had a chocolate cream in the middle, and another layer of chocolate frosting on top of that chocolate sandwich. I promise you, these were so amazing. Now I know this is a cereal channel, but humor me for a few seconds while I show you one of the commercials for this delicious snack cake from back in the day.
Chocolate lovers, watch out for new Choco Bliss. Oh, what a sweet sensation. Oh, is this what you do to me? Do to me. New Choco Bliss, a chocolatey creation. 3 layers make it so chocolatey. Moist chocolatey cake, whipped chocolatey filling to chocolatey icing so smooth. Choco Bliss, a dream come true. 1, 2, 3, I'm relaxed to see. New Choco Bliss from Hostess, watch out.
Now there was also another commercial for Choco Bliss, which you can go search for if you want to watch. That one featured a younger crowd and had a distinctly 80s feel to it, but like the last commercial, it has some nice close-ups of the Choco Bliss snack cakes that will probably get your mouth watering. Now Choco Bliss was eventually renamed Chocolicious, and they added some chocolate sprinkles on top. But then they were discontinued in the early 90s, I believe, and even though some copycat recipes pop up online, none of them are as good as the original Choco Bliss snack cakes. Anyway, back to Almond Delight cereal. Eventually, Almond Delight evolved from this original version you see here to adding more ingredients and changing the name up a bit. Here's a commercial for the newer, updated version of Almond Delight that came out in 1990.
Now we've added nutty clusters to the Almond Delight. We took the almonds and the flakes and we mixed them both up. We added clusters to the almonds and shook them all up. You get the Almond Delight when you taste them all together. Now we've added clusters to make it taste better. Ooh, new Almond Delight. Now the best tastes even better. We've added delicious clusters of almonds, walnuts, and pecans. Now the best is even better. New Almond Delight. It's the best. It's the best.
So in that commercial, they still had the old original looking Almond Delight box, but soon after they changed the box to incorporate the new name, Honey Almond Delight. And you can see on this box it advertised the sliced almond and nut clusters, which included walnuts and pecans. And this Honey Almond Delight with clusters stayed on shelves for a few years. But then in the mid-90s, Ralston Cereals was acquired by General Mills, and all those beloved Ralston cereals would either be discontinued or folded into the General Mills brand, which is sort of what happened to Almond Delight cereal. Not really, but kinda. See, General Mills had a cereal called Clusters that they released back in 1985. That cereal stayed on shelves all through the early 90s. They had a squirrel as the unofficial mascot. You might remember some commercials for it. There was one in particular that was very memorable. Here, I'll just show you.
Tired of the same old flakes? Try Cluster cereal. It's got a nutty sweet taste you'll never want to give up. Clusters starts with crispy flakes with wheat and bran, but then adds clusters with nuts and honey for a sweet, nutty taste. So if you want more than just flakes, get your hands on some clusters before someone else does.
That RoboCop squirrel still cracks me up all these years later. So you can hear them describe in that commercial the original Clusters cereal was wheat and bran flakes with honey and nut clusters. But then around 1995, when Ralston cereals were acquired by General Mills, they changed the name of Clusters cereal to Honey Nut Clusters. And here's an ad for that updated version of the cereal.
Introducing new Honey Nut Clusters. With a taste everybody will love. Honey Nut Clusters combines honey toasted flakes and honey nut clusters for a delicious honey nutty taste. New Honey Nut Clusters. The taste everybody loves. Everybody.
And you can see that new version had flakes made from wheat and rice, not wheat and bran. Now, it didn't have slivered almonds, only the honey nut clusters. But in my humble opinion, that was the natural evolution of Ralston's Almond Delight cereal. First, Almond Delight adds the honey nut clusters. Then when General Mills got the cereal, they decided to just scrap the slivered almonds and combine it with their cluster cereal. And voila, they create a brand new honey nut cluster cereal. And that honey nut cluster cereal stayed on shelves till about 2012, I believe, until it was removed from shelves due to low sales. Which isn't that surprising considering there are plenty of superior cluster cereals on shelves. I mean, Honey Bunches of Oats with almonds should satisfy your almonds and clusters cravings. For me personally, I still think Basic 4 and Oatmeal Crisp are the go-to flakes with almond cereals. But Almond Delight will always hold a special place in my heart as a memorable, somewhat healthy cereal that I used to love back in the 80s and 90s. It had some great commercials, some great promotions, And it was a pretty tasty cereal as well. So that's gonna do it for Almond Delight cereal. Thanks for taking this trip down memory lane with me and sitting through a bunch of these old classic commercials. As always, thank you for watching, and until next time, stay crunchy. Look at all that foreign currency.